Welcome to the Kung Fu Mama Show. Today we have back our beautiful guest, Monica Liu Uhlmann, who is the partner of Petite Blumen, and it's a Montessori-based community, and we've learned so much on the last episode, so we'd like to learn just a little bit more. One thing that Kali is learning at the moment is how to go to the potty. And because the Montessori philosophy has a lot of different insight on routines and things like that, I thought it would be nice to pick your brain about what is it that we do, that we should do to help our kids learn how to be potty trained.
Okay. So to talk about potty, Montessori, we don't talk about potty training, we talk about potty learning. Mm-hmm. It's the same that we let the kids explore food, like you use a fork or spoon to start eating. You sleep on the bed. So it's the same. Going to toilet is a natural physical need. So they just need to learn to use the toilet for the physical need. But because nowadays we use a lot of diapers, and then the diapers getting better and better, it absorbs better and better, so kids, they don't feel it, so it doesn't bother them. Mm-hmm. So to talk about so-called potty learning, each of the kids is different. The way I use for my kids' potty learning may not be helpful for your kids, or may not be helpful for other kids. Mm-hmm. But generally, like if we look at how the Montessori kindergarten or daycare to help the kids to learn about potty, they often just the same, like they let them to start using learning pants, underwear instead of diaper. Mm-hmm. Ask to invite the kid to toilet, but don't force the kid to toilet. If the kid wet themselves, you just state, oh, you wet yourself, let's go and change. And then to help them to learn how to put their pants on and so on. At home, what we could do is that we set up the home environment which is suitable for kids to start using the potty, whether it's adding the little toilet, adding a toilet paper, using books for helping the kids to learn about the toilet, right. Little bench for the kids to change their pants afterwards. Oh. Yeah, and also a place where they can wash their hands independently without parents too much effort helping. So I think that is setting up the environment for the kids to learn about potty. I think it's important that they first need to feel that there's a need and is feeling uncomfortable.
So how long does this process begin? So if you don't put them in diapers and you have them in just underwear, yeah. Is this like, is there pee everywhere, or how does it all work?
I think it really deep down back to the questions for the parents. Are the parents ready or not? Mm-hmm. It's not the kids are ready or not. It's the parents ready or not. Mm-hmm. So if the parent feel that, yes, I'm ready for this, then it'll change the kids to learning diapers. Some kids, they are faster. Some kids are a bit slower. Some kids has less regression. Some kids have more regression.
What is a learning diaper? Is that something that actually...
yeah. So we have this diapers, it's like you tape on the front, and then you have this push pen, right?
Yeah.
Called the lalaku in Chinese, learning diaper.
The pull-up
pen.
Diapers, yeah.
And then you have those underwear is dedicated for kids learning potty. They are a bit thicker than the normal underwear, absorb a bit better, but it's not diaper. It's not. Okay. It's also not cloth diaper. It's really a pen, but just a bit thicker, like thicker on the bottom where they absorb a little bit, but not a lot. So the
it's not. It's not cloth.
It's not cloth.
So it's actually a diaper.
It's
almost.
Actually underwear. It's more underwear.
Oh, it's like a paper underwear sort of thing.
Cotton underwear, but a big.
Oh, just with the thicker pad on the bottom.
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
So it doesn't create too much mess because thin underwear, when the kid pee, they probably just everywhere. So the thicker underwear is still absorbed, but not absorb too much that to let the kids feel that, hey, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. Right. So that they'll still know that they peed.
Yeah.
So you still have to change them every time.
Yes.
they
but
pee.
of course, like each of kids is different. Some kids,
Right.
they feel they really bothered by this. Some kids, they don't. So
they might be running around in wet.
so I still need to keep helping them to say, hey, you wet yourself, let's go to toilet, change. And then still ask them to sit on the toilet.
Right.
Of course, we don't force them, inviting them to go there. So it's a process. Each kids are different. I mean, for my own kids, getting off the diaper is also different from my partner's kids getting off the diaper. If I see how fast my partner's daughter's off the diaper and my kids itself, it took longer time for sure and a lot of resistance. But it's generally like it worked, and then there's not that many like, hey, now you have to do it and something like that. So it's a process.
Yeah, definitely. So you also mentioned to have a little sink or a little washing area for them to what's a DIY style little hand washing station?
We actually use a learning tower in our toilet, like those learning steps for the kids to climb up. Then use our adult size sink to wash the hands.
Okay.
Of course, you can build a little just wash sink for the kids to wash themselves.
I mean, that seems a bit much. You have to like get a designer or something. Can you just make like a little sink here?
Or you just use like a bowl of water for them to just wash their hands. It's just more like they know that after going to the toilet,
They have to
wash hands.
Okay.
Like someone
just a little bucket or something.
I saw that people use the IKEA kitchen, converted to just a washing tank. Washing sink, small kitchen sink.
Okay.
We use learning towers to help the kids to go up to our own like adult sink instead of building another one for him.
Right.
And then you can use a different way.
Oh, okay. Okay. Get creative, guys.
It doesn't have to be spending a lot of money. I think you can use a lot of DIY for sure. Main purpose is just like the kids can access without too much help from the adult. Of course, you will expect that the kids will play with the water a lot. It's their nature. They will play with the water all the time. But they just need to direct them, hey, it's now time for washing the hands.
Right.
And then to dry the hands. And then gradually they know that this would be the routine.
I see. So maybe Fritz he just goes pee and washes his hands every time.
Yeah. Sometimes he will want to play it, and then he will forget to wash his hands. And then I will remind him, you need to wash hands after going to toilet. Do you want to go by yourself, or you want me to help you to go together? And then sometimes give like a two option for him to choose, and then he will choose like, I go by myself, or I want you to help me.
Oh, okay. Great.
So less struggle with say, now you have to go for washing your hands and so on.
I see. Okay, well, what about, so we've got potty learning, guys, potty learning down. Just have them learn themselves how to do something that they naturally have to do anyways, right? And then they naturally also have to eat, right?
Yeah. Montessori talk about like eating is like create a healthy eating relationship with the kid. I know a lot of parents here in Taiwan, they're really struggling with the kids eating. But the thing is really the kids, they know what they wanted to eat and how much they need to take. So we suggest parents, or including us, that we invite the kids to go to the kitchen, prepare the food together, and then to eat together. It's very simple. Like you can ask, like for example, Henry now is 1 year old. We invite him to the kitchen, helping us to wash leaves, wash vegetable, wash fruit. And then he enjoyed it. And then I get some peace movement then when I cook food. And then also help him to start learning about the vegetable he's washing. It's a part of also the learning, like about practical life and language. For Fritz is older, we invite him to start using cutting board to cut the sausage or cut the meat. Not the really big stick, but like a fish and so on. Very simple thing for him to do. Sometimes I invite him as well to make dumpling 饺子 together, stir-fry as well.
Right.
So I think he has a lot of interest in the kitchen because he wants to see how the parents do.
Right.
And then we just invite him and then we go together. Of course, we don't force him to eat. We present the food and then ask him to choose whatever he wants to eat, how much he wanted to eat. And then he just pick it up by himself. And it works for us. I know it works for other parents as well. And gradually the kids like create a positive relationship with the food. Then they start exploring different food. Yeah.
So do you find that because you've used this method, they actually like to eat vegetables even?
Yes. For my kids, they like eating whatever they cook. Even if it's the same vegetable. Like sometimes when I cook cauliflower, he doesn't want to eat it. But if he cook by himself, he will eat it. So I think it's a difference. Like,
Nice.
Yeah. Sometimes he like eating carrot, but sometimes he doesn't. So it really depends on whether he participate in helping to make that dishes together.
Right.
Like you mentioned that Kali also like playing with the Play-Doh.
Right.
We don't have Play-Doh at home, but we use a lot of flour. We use the flour making as a Play-Doh.
Oh, that's
to
great.
let him start learning how to make noodle. Like I think in Taiwanese you use this called 面疙瘩. So basically just noodle is just like twist it a little bit.
Nochi, right?
Gnocchi. Nice gnocchi because they just like twist it differently.
Right.
So I just ask him to do it, and then we start boiling it together, and then he eat it together. Right. Sometimes I add some colors like a spinach sauce or tomato sauce to make it colorful. Then it becoming the Play-Doh, and then he start playing with it. You can buy those baking shape, whether it's a heart shape or animal shape.
Right.
And he start pressing on it, and then it's also training their fine motor skills. So which I think is quite interesting to let the kids explore so-called practical life, because preparing food, cooking is part of our daily life. Yeah, just invite the kids to the kitchen.
Oh, that's wonderful. Great. So then he can eat independently. He already learned the potty, and he's sleeping well.
Actually, at the age of 2, Fritz already eat by himself. Of course, he went to the daycare. The IE also like helping him to learn how to scoop. We use the same philosophy to Henry. Now Henry is 1 year old. He just eat by himself. Most of the time, of course, we still use the 2-spoon method to feed, and also he grab it by himself.
Sorry, could you repeat that? A 2-spoon method?
2-spoon method. Like, it sounds very fancy, but it's just like you have 2 spoons, 1 spoon for the prime caretaker, 1 spoon for the kids. So you help the kid to scoop and then put it there, and then you scoop the food and put it into his mouth, and then he just learned to grab it by himself.
Okay.
Just gradually that.
So one spoon's got the food in there already.
Yeah.
The second spoon is
just for the prime caretaker to feed, because under the age of 2 they still don't really know how to eat. It's not that skillful for them, so they're still practicing and learning. So we still need to feed every now and then. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kali sometimes she can eat independently, but then sometimes like for the end, she can't get everything,
so just
and then she'll just exactly just scrape the bowl.
Well, of course it would be messy at the beginning. It's food everywhere, but if I see that like how Fritz is eating now is less mess, and then most of the time it's actually very clean. Henry's still at the process of creating a mess at home, but I think in general, gradually it will change.
Oh yeah, I mean it's only 1 year old. Yeah. I think we've gone past that stage, but I think because Kali likes to, she's actually quite a clean baby in that she likes, if she sees like there's a mess on the floor, she will tell us to pick it up for her. She'll say napkin, or she'll run over. Yeah. She'll grab the napkin and she'll give it to you. She's bossing us around. Yeah, we need to change that, but it's so children-led.
Our homes, we do have a cleaning station. So we just invite the kids, ask the kids, cleaning by yourself. For them, they love it because they can just do the mopping, although
Yeah.
it's probably create more messy than it's supposed to be. But I think
The motion they like.
They love it, and then also kind of helping them for the motor skills. And then gradually they really learn how to clean the floor in a proper way. Yeah.
Right. So also that's also part of the stations, because I know that your program is very much so based on how to do Montessori in the house.
Yeah.
And so one of the stations you also have is a cleaning station. And is that right?
Yeah. I mean, like just a small cleaning station for the kids where they have the children's size cleaning tower, children's size like brooms,
And
mop and so on. I mean, you can find that already in the market.
Okay.
So I think just like they know that where they can access to that tool. And then once they finish using it, they will put it back. It's more about like the orders at home.
Okay, can you tell us more about what are the other stations, or how do people optimize their homes for Montessori learning?
I think we don't want parents to spend a lot of money just at home for creating the environment for the Montessori. Of course, if you're willing to do it, it's up to you. It's a parenting style, parenting choice.
Right.
But it's important that the kids, they can access to the things that they need for their practical life, whether it's like their own category that they can get for their food, like their bowl, their fork, whether it's a cleaning station where they can just find the tower, they can clean for them, the mastic ray, the toilet area where they can access to the toilet freely, their closet where they can access to the clothes they wanted to wear freely,
I like
and so
that.
on. I mean, it's just like if we think the kids as another human being, the things that we do as adults is the same for the kids that they do as a kid.
Okay.
Of course, we need to create an environment for them, and also helping them to, at a certain point, we need to help them to make certain decisions.
Right.
Inviting them together to make the decision.
Right.
But it's important that they can access to the tool instead of always asking us to help.
Right.
Yeah. For things like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's super cute. I just have a nice vision of like putting everything into like the mini
The child size.
the child size
Yeah.
clothing shelf. Now I'm thinking already to put all her clothes on the bottom. She likes to choose clothes. She's really into that.
Yeah. It's also like it's important that to provide like limited choice for the kids as well. So at Montessori is very often that parents feel that Montessori is like a free things, like a free. The kids can do whatever they want. But if you go to Montessori daycare or kindergarten, it's always about freedom and boundary. They know their limit, and then they play within the boundary and limit to exercise the freedom. The same
Right.
at home. Like we don't provide 30 clothes for the kids to choose, but we provide like 2 or 3 for them to choose, and then we rotate the clothes for them, then they can choose about that. Because when they have too much, it's very difficult for them to make the choice. The same for adult. When we have too many, we often just make the choice is the same. We often just wear. Yeah. So it's the same.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. So also, in the home, well, you want to set up and optimize everything for your kids. You don't want to give them too much choice, so
Yes.
they're just overwhelmed.
It's like less is more. Less toys, less clothes choice, just less things that they can make the decision, and it's easier for them to regular their life as well. I mean, they need certain routine, and they need the sense of order. When we have less things, it's easier to make such order for them, and then they can easier to build that within themselves. Yeah. So I think it's important to remember that like less is more. Sometimes we tend to have more toys for them or more
Right.
clothes, but we can rotate the toys. We can rotate the clothes. It's just like when we give them the choice, it's like 3 or 4, so they can choose easily. Yeah.
Okay, and then make sure you're observing the child to see when it is that you need to
Rotate it.
rotate and what they want to rotate. So having like toys and having stations that they can the kids can learn. What would you think, say for example, a 2-year-old little rambunctious girl who likes, say, music, she likes Play-Doh, and she likes a little bus that you can push around. What would you say would be some good tools or good stations for someone like that?
Of course, like I haven't met her, so it's difficult for me to give a recommendation because it really needs observation. But you can see from your own eyes, like what she likes.
Yeah.
If she likes playing music, you can have a music corner, like some instrument. If she likes drawing, you can provide some drawing like stations, like different type of material for her to experience. Display in a trail or in a basket where she knows that if she need to work on that specific toys or tool, she bring it to the chair, she draw, and then afterwards she will clean that and bring it back where it belonged to. Like for 2 years old, very often that they also love using scissors, they love using sewing, like a needle. Sewing as well.
That's very interesting.
It's also good for them to learn about the movement, like the fine motor skills movement. The scissor, you need to use the clip. I don't know how to call it in English. It's 刺工. It's like there's a needle. No, it's like it's a piece of paper. You can put some dot, and then there's a kind of a needle. They love how to just like poking or choking. It's quite interesting that the kids they do love it, and it's important that they learn how to use this muscle as well, the wrist muscle.
And the wrist muscle.
Yeah, because in the future they need to use that for writing as well, for pen.
Right.
So you see that when the kids they start painting, they love using this movement first.
Right.
And then very soon they start using this movement.
Right.
So it's like an
so in the beginning their wrist is stiff, but then slowly their wrist is more fluid and they learn move it around with a paintbrush.
So I think it can provide different type of art area for her to explore. Of course, like kids love exercise. You see them like using a push bike or bobby car. Like at our home, we had a bobby car. We have a tricycle. The kids love just riding around because for them, they love using the different part of muscle.
Right.
Climbing as well. They like climbing or jumping. So I think it's important that they can do that exercise as well. For the rest, I think it really depends on how you observe the kids. Like you get reading could be part of it. Like some books, present some books for her. Then reading could be part of the activity as well. Yeah.
And also not too many books, right?
Yes.
To have a choice of a certain, maybe 4 or 5 books and rotate them.
Yeah. For us, like we always have a six books display in the bookshelf, but we have an area where we just put a book like you guys, and then the kids they start picking up the books which they want. But I think at the beginning, when particularly at Henry's age, it's always just like a few books. Yeah.
I see. Okay, so what kind of advice can you give to parents who want to send their kids to Montessori daycare,
kindergarten,
or how do you choose a proper Montessori preschool? Is there such thing as a proper?
Good questions. Because I just wrote a blog about that. Actually, there's no real or fake Montessori kindergarten or daycare because Montessori is not a trademark. So it's not a licensed kindergarten or daycare.
Right.
Of course, we can check few things and see that whether there's a Montessori aligned. For example, we can check the environment, whether they use lower shell, whether they have the area, for example, for 0 to 3, the daycare, whether they cover so-called sensory area, language, art, music, practical life, like a daily life area, whether they display such work. In Montessori, we don't call toy, we call work, such work accordingly, whether the place is clean and tight and so on. Of course, you can also check off the teacher, whether they are a so-called AMS or AMI trained, whether they have the license.
What is that, AMI?
AMI is like associate Montessori International is actually the oldest, the most traditional organization to train Montessori teachers.
Okay.
So you can see that whether the teacher they got the training from.
Right.
Of course, we can check all of those checkpoints. You can check the program, whether they provide the kids outdoor exercise time, whether they leave longer period for the kid to work individually or group work and so on. We can check all of that. However, my main questions to all the parents, if those kindergarten or daycare, they check all the points, but when you go in, you don't like the way that how the teacher interact with the kids. You don't like the teacher how to interact with you as parents. Would you still send the kids over to such a daycare, even they check all the points, say, I am a Montessori aligned kindergarten.
Right.
So I think it really depends on the parent. What do you want for yourself and for your kids?
Right.
It has to be matched with the parent's priority as well, whether it fits your personal interest, your financial interest, your daily schedule interest, whether you see yourself to work together with the kindergarten for your kids. For us, own experience, we really look for the teacher interaction, how they interact with the kids. They don't need to be nice to the parents from our perspective. They don't need to be super nice to us, but they have to be nice to the kids, whether they really have passion in terms of kids' education, how they see themselves, what's the turnover for turnover rate for the teachers in the daycare. Because for 0 to 3, what matters most for us is that it has to be stable. The kids cannot have too much change in terms of prime caretaker. So you can check all of this, but really depends on your own parenting style as well. So whether it's real Montessori or fake Montessori or Montessori at all, I think it really up to the parents how they design.
Yes,
there are a lot of Montessori school here. Talk to the school, talk to the teacher, and check out how the teacher interact with the kids. Open door or closed door. Check out at different time and see. Also talk to the existing parents, and see that how much they like about the kindergarten, why they like it, and then to make the decision.
Great. Those are some great tips. So how can we be a part of the Petite Blumen community? What do we do? Tell us.
It's quite simple. You just need to follow us on Facebook at this stage, Facebook or Instagram. We have our own website as well. We publish our blog on our website, and then some small tips. There are some more upcoming service from Petite Blumen. Of course, if you're interested, you can always get in touch with us. We irregularly organize some events, so-called Montessori at home, or talk to other Montessori advocates and create a community that how do we do parenting.
Nice.
Yeah.
So. Okay, great. Well, I can't wait to join your next or upcoming event, and we learned so much, and we're very, very grateful for having you on the show. So thank you so much.
Thanks for inviting.
Yes, of course. So guys, follow Petite Blumen. What is it at?
PetiteBlumen.com.
Oh,
that's our website.
Is the website.
Yeah, we have on Facebook and Instagram. Just type Petite Blumen.
Okay, yes. So look for Petite Blumen, and also don't forget. I mean, if you guys haven't subscribed by now, at Kung Fu Mama Show, Facebook, IG, you guys know the drill. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you guys next week.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.